Your company is
Leep Accountants in Peterborough.
Okay, Leep Accountants in Peterborough. Now, I know you advise small businesses. We've been speaking to a lot of small businesses worried sick about their futures. Half an hour ago, I spoke to somebody called Goretti. She runs a couple of small Italian restaurants in Peterborough, and she's worried sick. She's desperate to stay open, doing everything she can. She's fighting to try and save her restaurants, to save her staff. She wants to keep paying her staff, but when customers suddenly don't come in, it's an awful time for people. So what kind of advice are you giving to your small business clients based on what we heard from the Chancellor last night and all the help he's trying to give?
Well, I think the help that the Chancellor has granted, it's a long way to helping small businesses. So people hear about these billions of pounds, but what small businesses really need is an understanding of how they're going to get access. So people will hear that, I can get a 10 grand grant or I can get a 25 grand grant. Well, does that mean I have to pay it back? And if so, for how long? And actually, the access to getting it isn't clear yet. So in the HMRC website, it says, well, this grant is going to be available for small businesses who are currently exempt from paying small business rates. So when I call up the Peterborough Council, the advisor at the end of the line currently does not yet have the information to give to me to say, well, how can I give this to you and your clients? So the writing on the ink isn't yet dry. The advice currently is wait for the local authority to contact you rather than you contact them. So it's currently a little bit up in the air, but I do think that what Rishi has said is going to be rolled out to help small businesses is actually quite a generous offer.
So just to try and clarify this, there's grants which won't have to be paid back.
Correct.
And then there's loans that do have to be paid back. I mean, I'm wondering about whether small businesses who are fighting to stay open, do they really want to be taking on debt at a time like this?
I would suggest that all small businesses talk to their accountants and maybe discuss ways of getting access to the grant first, getting small business rates relief first, and then exploring the option of loans second. Because
let me just hold on. Whoa. I'm looking for a pen. Let me write that down. Say that again. Those 3 stages.
So talk to their accountants about the possibility of getting the grants, getting access to the grants, then talk about getting business rates relief because you have to apply for the business rates relief. It's not automatic. And
then option 3, if needed, looking at a potential loan to keep their business afloat.
That's correct.
Just finally, and I really appreciate your time for coming on, Polly. I wonder if small businesses, and I'm particularly, I guess, focusing at the minute on restaurants and pubs. This weekend was supposed to be Mothering Sunday, one of the busiest days of the year. And there are so many wonderful restaurants and pubs in Cambridgeshire, so many fantastic places that all of a sudden are dead. I had to call the restaurant I was going to go to on Sunday for Mothering Sunday and cancel the booking that we'd made. And I felt really sad having to do it. And he was like, he was so nice. He took the call and was just, everyone's doing it. Can some of these restaurants, do you think, as an advisor to small businesses, really start shaking up their minds to think about how they can keep going in different ways? This pub that I was going to go to for food, I'd get a takeaway from there if they did takeaways because their food's great.
Yes, definitely. We've got to really all club together and think outside the box. So, for example, I don't want to sort of advertise them, but McDonald's are now, advertising that they're going to offer takeaways and that it's drive-through only. So, Goretti's restaurant, it's great. And if she offered more takeaway and pushed that, then people will see that as a real viable option to staying in, cooking, and potentially, fighting the crowds at Oldie for loo roll.
Good to talk to you, Polly. Thank you so much for your time. Polly from Leep Accountants, and before that it was Paul, who is a mortgage